Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. It is Cassandra Terry, your manifesting miracle maker, and we have made it to the end for most of us of another work week. It is Friday. And on Friday, the theme is always the same. On Fridays, we talk about focus. So join me for Focus Friday, and we will get into it. It won't be a long broadcast today. I am a little tired, and but I did want to hold the commitment and be here at the time that I typically am. So here I am. Let's get started and dig in on Focus Friday. I wanted to start the day with a quote. The direction of your focus is the direction your life will move. Let yourself move towards what is good, what is valuable, what is strong, and what is true. I really like this quote. Not only does it align perfectly with what we talk about on Fridays, it aligns perfectly with focus. But the other thing that I really like about it, good morning, Mo. I try to call you Maisha, and it just never comes out right. You're gonna forever be Mo to me. Shivankar, Prabir, welcome guys. Hello, names. Namaskar, lots of love and regards from India. Welcome, Namaskar from India. It is great to have you. It's great to have you, Maisha, my lovely Mo. It's great to have you, Shivankar. Welcome, guys. Come on in. I was just getting us started. I see Anne and and Masada and Edwin, quite a few people scrolling through from TikTok. Stop scrolling, join us. Um, so today we will definitely be talking about focus because it's Friday. We've made it to the end of another work week for most folks. Um, if you are in India, it's already into your Saturday, isn't it? Or soon will be, Namaskar. So, welcome. It's great to know that we continue to have an international audience. I am so grateful for each of you, wherever you're coming from, whatever uh, place on social media, whatever platform you're picking me up on. So far, I see YouTube, I see LinkedIn, I see TikTok and Instagram. So the only thing that's lagging behind so far this morning, it looks like it might be um, Facebook. I don't see anybody from Facebook yet, but I'm sure you guys will come in. But in the meantime, and in between time, let's get back to the topic at hand, and that is focus. On Fridays, we focus on focus and how using it can increase our odds of being successful at the goals that we set for ourselves, which means that we'll be successful at the life that we are trying to build. Because what does focus mean? First of all, you've got a clear mission at hand. You know your purpose. You know what it is that you want, and then when you focus in on that, that means for a period of time, that is what's getting all of your resources, your energy, your attention. Everything is going into the task at hand. Some of you guys can see my shirt. I'm aligned with the conversation today. Focused and flourishing. Good morning, Sonia. When you focus, you increase your chances of that flourishing. That's the second part of this shirt. And let me go back to the quote because quite a few of you have joined after I read it. And what it says is the direction of your life is the direction your life will move. Let yourself move towards what is good, what is valuable, what is strong and true. And that was written by Ralph Marston. He's written a lot of stuff. And I'll talk to you guys about him a little bit as well. That way, if you're interested in hearing more from him, you can Google him. It's Ralph, last name Marston, Marston. And he's been doing motivational writing through on the internet, different social media outlets since like 1995. And he does these short daily messages. that are intended to motivate and to uplift. And he's always encouraging people um, to have positive values. And they specifically called out when talking about his messages: gratitude, discipline, purpose, love, acceptance, balance, and finally, focus. So he's got quite a few quotes that I could have chosen, but this particular one I really like because there's a couple of things that jump out at me when I read it. The direction of your focus is the direction that your life will move. And you guys may have heard me before say, where your focus goes, your energy flows. That what you're putting your attention into is what you are, even without realizing it, it's what you're creating. It's the life that you're creating for yourself. It's what you see, it's how you see life. So are you focused on the problem, or are you focused on a solution? Are you focused on something difficult that it has happened or is happening, or are you focused on what you're learning from it? Our focus is something that we can control. And he says the direction of your focus is the direction of your life will move. So how you're focused is going to dictate in a large way the direction of your life. So getting a hold of your focus and being cognizant of where you're putting your energy, your attention is important, because you're going to draw more of that to you. And then, but what's really sticks out at me is he says, let yourself move towards what is good, valuable, strong, and true. Just those first two words, let yourself. The reason that that's important to focus on for a second is it speaks to the control that you have. You're not a victim of your emotions, your thoughts, even your circumstances. You can get some control over different aspects of your life and start to generate the life that you desire. It begins with getting clear about what that is, and then creating a plan, and then implementing that plan. Let yourself move towards what is good, valuable, strong, and true. So just realize how much control you have. And I think that's what trips us up more than anything. Most of the times we don't realize, or we don't feel that we have any control. We get up, we go through the motions, we do what it is we always do, and we have this kind of automatic existence. And if we would just take a moment to stop and think at any given moment about what it is that we're doing and assess if that's the best use of your time at that moment, then that focus will help you make the right decision. Am I spending my time wisely? Am I spending my attention wisely? Am I focused on the right things? As you go throughout your day, ask yourself that. Ask yourself that so that you can assess just what it is that you're doing. Sometimes we're doing things because it's what we always do. So, the best thing that you can do is give yourself just a beat, give yourself just a moment to tap in and to think about the activities that you're doing at any given time and go, is this the best use of my time? If it is, keep going, dig in. If it's not, you're aware of it now. And so you can make a different choice. You can redirect your focus to something that's going to generate the outcomes that you're looking for out of your life. So just know that you've got more control than what it is that you think. But it requires thinking. It requires tapping into yourself and really being aware. That self awareness will take you a long way. Good morning, Shay. So that was the first thing. I really wanted us to, once again, the direction of your focus is the direction that your life will move. Let yourself move towards what is good, valuable, strong, and true. And one of the things that we often don't realize is that we can't really focus on more than one thing at a time. So it's important that you get that clarity and that you make sure that this multitasking thing is being replaced. People like buzzwords. So now you hear people talk about single tasking. Well, all they're saying there is Focus on one thing at a time so that you can give it your full attention. What you give your full attention, you're going to do a better job at. You'll do a more thorough job. You'll be more aware of what you're doing, so you're less likely to make mistakes, and you will have a better outcome. You're likely to finish more efficiently, faster, because you're focused, honed in, and you're not all over the place. This week was a short week, right? With the fourth in the US being a holiday. So a lot of people, if they didn't take the whole week off, they took maybe Friday and Monday. I took Monday off. So I've had a short week. I came back to work on Wednesday and just emails everywhere, so many different things vying for my attention. And while I was away, I had that downtime. I had time to really focus on my business. And so I had several meetings scheduled with people who could help me move my business to the next level, take some of these tasks off my hands that I really don't have the time or the best skills to be tackling. So I had those meetings, which created other things. I was doing a lot of writing, preparing content for for days like today, and so I was really in that mode. I was in the M3 mode, really thinking about my business, and then all of a sudden work was back and I had to shift my focus for that. So I have to make that shift every day. I choose to get up early before I start my work day to have these discussions with you guys. And then I follow up if I have time with comments and things like that. And within 30 minutes or so, it's time to start my work day if they're not back to back. So I have to context switch quite a bit throughout my day. So I block it off. We talked about this maybe last week. So my calendar is blocked first thing in the morning so that people from the job are not scheduling meetings typically when I'm doing this. That's what happened yesterday. An emergency meeting came up, a last minute meeting, I'll say. It wasn't really an emergency, came up that I had to manage for work, which means I wasn't around to do my live yesterday. So I had to, when I realized that I had that conflict the night before, I had to think about, what am I going to do? Am I going to decline the work meeting and maybe set myself a little bit farther behind? Am I going to just not do the live and bow out? What could I do? Good morning, TikTok cheat code. So what I had to do was just think through it and block out the time. So I took some time the night before and I said, I'm missing my favorite day of the week. I love Thankful Thursday because talking about gratitude and focusing on gratitude is really important as well, right? Because that's another tool that helps you to focus on what's going well, what you appreciate in life and people in your situations, and that focuses your mindset into a positive space. And so gratitude is important. So I was not excited to miss yesterday. So I had to do the best that I could do. And so I wrote up a gratitude worksheet and I sent that out to the folks on LinkedIn. LinkedIn happens to be set up in a way where it's fairly easy to send files. The other forms of social media, YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, it's a little bit more difficult. So if you guys are interested in getting the goal setting worksheet that I sent to everybody on LinkedIn for yesterday's, a substitute for yesterday's live, just let me know. Drop me a comment with your email or DM me, and I'll forward it to you. It's already created and ready to go, so I may as well share it out with as many folks as possible. I saw the people on LinkedIn responding to it, so hopefully they spent some time yesterday documenting what they were grateful for, and I want to give you guys the opportunity to do the same because it's something that's written. You can refer to it whenever you'd like, and get that mindset going at any point in time. If you need that boost, I believe in starting your days. First thing I did this morning before I opened my eyes and got out of bed was I spent some time. For me, it's prayer time. But I was thinking about and focused on what I was grateful for. And I like to do it at the end of the day as well. So it kind of bookends your day with those positive thoughts and sets you up for the right mindset to get through your day. So reach out and I would be more than happy to get you guys that gratitude worksheet. So back to focus. Focus for me right now was this week has been a little difficult because there are so many things vying for my attention. So what I was saying before I lost focus is that is reminding you guys of time blocking. Douglas Redwine, happy Friday. So that time blocking, blocking out the morning. So the majority of the time I'm free to have these conversations. And then I actually move. I have my business laptop set up on one side of my room. I have my work laptop set up on the other side. I can't see both screens at once. So that allows me to focus as well. When I finish with my lives, and if I have time, go ahead and respond. When I really have time, I'll set up the live for the next day. But then I have to close that chapter for a bit. I have to put that on pause, go to the other side of the room, and then it's time to focus on work for the next 8 hours or so, right? Because I have sold my time. That time belongs to my employer. That's what our paycheck is, right? It's an exchange for our time. So that time is already blocked out for us, those of us that have um, a job. Some people are entrepreneurs. And in that, it's even more important that you're blocking out your time. What time am I dedicating to what task? That allows you to have the focus that you need to do what it is you need to do well. Things are really difficult for me when I'm trying to jump from one to the other because neither of them are getting the time or attention that they need. So I want to encourage you to focus in at any given time on the task at hand, whatever that may be. When I'm reading my emails, I'm trying to focus in and just do that because there's probably going to be something important that's going to come up that I need to respond to. That happened to me several times yesterday. I was trying to respond to some text messages. So I've got to make up and get those done this morning because there were things that I needed to reply back to that folks are waiting on my reply so they know what to do next. And because I got sidetracked with something else and didn't finish working my way through the text messages, everything in that space kind of went on hold until I take the necessary action, until I give it the focus. I've paused some things that should be moving. So being focused and honing in on the task at hand is will increase the likelihood of you being successful at it. Another thing that you want to build into your day, if at all possible, and I hope it is time to breathe. Time to just step back and breathe and reflect. Think about what you've done so far in the day. How's that going? Have you accomplished the things that you wanted to, that you intended to, or do you need to make some adjustments? Focus allows you to do those little mini evaluations throughout the day so that you're utilizing your time in the most effective way. So I encourage you to block your days out so that you know at any point in time what you have dedicated that time to. That increases your ability to focus. So first thing in the morning for me is this: get my lives done, respond if for to as much of it as I have time to, and then I have to shut that down and shift into my work mode. During my work mode, there's multiple things that I'm responsible for. So many things are vying for my attention at any point in time that I have to block that off as well. What time of the day and of the week do I set aside for one-on-one discussions with my team members so that they've got a regular standardized time where we're going to talk just about them and what they're wanting to do with their career and how they want to see things go. What time do I have dedicated for me to just sit back and plan and be strategic so that I can give them good direction so that we're all moving in the same direction, working on the same goals? What time do I need to be in meetings and get things accomplished? Times that I need to collaborate with different folks so that we're all on the same page. I have to think about that at the beginning of each day so that I look at the meetings are already on the calendar. So that time's already blocked for me. And if I'm not careful, all my day will get blocked and I won't have time to dedicate to the things that are important for me to get done within that day. So I try to block off some time and every day prior so that I've got time to pencil in the things that are important for me. So if you could see my calendar, you just see things blocked off like time to work, time to work out, time to, sometimes I have to even block in my lunch because My team is international. So just because it's noon to 1 for me, it's all kinds of times all around the world, right? So people won't even think about that because they're thinking about their time zone. They schedule the meeting, and sometimes lunch and all every day, every time, all the hours before and after that are booked. And so that happened to me enough that I realized how important it was for me to block off some time so that I had set time to accomplish some things. And when you do that, it really puts you in the driver's seat. It allows you the control you need to manage your day, because we don't want to be busy, we want to be productive. And there's a difference. Everybody's busy, everybody's doing a lot of stuff. But productive people are focused on their activities, and they're making sure that they're doing the things that are important to them to accomplish their goals. So focus on productivity, not busyness. And you can ask yourself those questions all the time, because there's a lot of busy built into our days. A lot of busy. There's things that are vying for our attention all the time. So all you want to do is just ask yourself, just keep asking yourself throughout the day, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? Is it the most important thing for me to do right now? And if you'll keep assessing that, you'll see your productivity go up because your focus has increased. You're giving yourself the space and the mental space to validate that you're spending your time wisely. That's the main thing that focus will do for you. It'll give you the control that you need to accomplish what it is that you need to do, and it'll give you the clarity and the attention of time. Focused time is your most productive time. You know, one of the things that's difficult that can easily throw you off when you're doing a live like this is, especially on TikTok, things are just constantly scrolling. People are coming, people are going, people are leaving messages. I see the hearts fly up when people like something that I say. So at my out of my peripheral, I'm seeing that activity go on. And if I allow myself to lock in too much, I lose FaceTime with everybody else because all that scrolling has grabbed my attention. And I can almost guarantee that somebody is going to say something outlandish, something ridiculous, something rude, something just to try to trip you up. There's people that's literally what they do with their day, is pop into other people's lives and see how disruptive they can be. And so if I allow myself to get pulled into all of the activity, then I'll lose my train of thought. I'll forget to look at the different cameras because I've got three of them in front of me. So I won't ever, make over here is my Instagram crowd. And so if I never look over here, I never have FaceTime, never make eye contact with this crowd. And it's a different experience, and it's not as good of an experience for you. I need to try and connect as best as I can. And I also want to greet you guys as you're coming in. And especially if you leave comments, then it's really easy for me to see that you're there. So I want to recognize you, right? And so all that's going on at one time, it's all a part of this experience. But at any point in time, if one of those things really grab my attention, and sometimes they do, especially on the TikTok side, because people do say things. They'll say things that's really funny to try to make you laugh, or they'll say things that try to get you upset. And so it's hard not to get sucked in. But that's one of three spaces that I'm trying to focus in on at different phases as I kind of pan the room to give attention all around. So there's a lot that's going on. But when I'm most at ease and when I'm at flow is when I forget about all of that, and the words feel like they're just kind of flowing out of my mouth. So I try to have a few bullet points or a quote or something to kick off the day, right? Sometimes I have a theme for the whole week. Last week's theme was, what was it? So today was focus. So it was focus as a tool to increase your likelihood of success, right? So each day, everything was a tool to increase your likelihood of success. So by the end of the week, there were five things that were in your toolbox, and we had talked throughout the week as to how you use those things to increase your likelihood of success or accomplishing your goals. And so I'm thinking about those things, or at least I had that reference in my mind. But when I'm most at ease is when it all is in the background and I'm just focused on talking. I'm just letting the words come out because the important stuff comes up and comes out. I don't like to write a script or have all that if it doesn't feel authentic and it doesn't flow. So I like to leave room for the moment. A lot of times you guys give me comments, and when I focus in on one comment and it'll take me in a different direction. You'll say something that'll trigger a thought or it'll enhance what I'm talking about for that day. So focusing in on that for a moment enhances and keeps things moving along. So managing all that mentally can easily allow me to lose focus and kind of be all over the place. And I'm sure if you've got been around for long that you've seen the brain kind of drift off a time or two. And when that happens, just give yourself some grace and realize that you're human. Stuff is going to happen. It's not the end of the world. And you just bring yourself back in. And sometimes I even acknowledge it. Earlier, I started to talk about gratitude. That's a subject that I love. And I know how beneficial it is. Well, today's topic is focus, and I'm talking about gratitude. So I finished my thought and then I pulled myself back to the topic at hand. So give yourself a break, be a little bit more lighthearted, not so hard on yourself when you're in some sort of delivery mode or you're trying to accomplish something. Sometimes we're so hard on ourselves that we don't give ourselves enough grace to make mistakes, to adjust, to learn from them and keep going. So if I lose focus, sometimes I'll say it, okay, I'm back now. I don't know where my brain went, but it's back. And just don't make it a big deal. If you don't make it a big deal for yourself, then you get right back into the flow of things so much quicker. But what we do oftentimes, and I was the biggest, at, I made this mistake all the time. When something didn't unfold the way I wanted it to, my focus went on the fact that I didn't do it right. I failed. I made a mistake. I whatever. And then I could spin in that space for so long. And for what? I mean, what's the advantage of that? What am I going to get out of that? I'm going to feel bad about myself. There's no upside. But if I can just shift my focus a little bit and go, okay, that didn't go the way I planned. What happened? What do I need to do differently next time? What did I learn from this experience? Right? I learned not to respond to negative messages and not to even let them grab me, because one day it something that somebody said really grabbed me, and for a moment I had a conversation with them. Luckily I was operating from my higher self, so it wasn't an argument. I didn't get mad and respond what would have been inappropriately for me. But it's still, I was like, you know what? I still gave them too much energy. Even having the exchange back and forth, I lost focus on the bigger picture and what was important. And then I just reeled myself back in. I replayed that situation in my head. I thought about going forward, how I wanted to deal with it. And in thinking about that and actually replaying it and allowing me to see myself doing it differently has helped me, because when a similar situation has come up, I go back to the plan. I don't just respond to, react to what they're saying. I think about how it is I wanted to react the first time. I practiced that. I visualized that before. So now it's much easier for me to recall the higher response instead of just reacting. And we spent a lot of time one day this week talking about responding versus reacting. A reaction is emotional. A reaction is a trigger that, you just shoot without any thinking. When you respond, you give yourself a little bit of space and you really think about how it is you want your message to come across, what's important for you to say, how you want to show up. Am I still within my character? Because that belongs to me. How dare I allow you, whoever you are, whatever's going on in your world, to dictate what my character is going to be like, to dictate how my day is going to go, to dictate how I'm going to show up in any given situation. We all have control of that if we just take a moment, take a break, and think for a second before we react. And then you gather yourself, you gain that control, and you're in a position to move forward. So when you gather yourself, you're focusing your energy, you're focusing your thinking, you're probably focusing your breathing because you may need to calm yourself down, but you're giving yourself that moment to focus. And it's quick. It sounds like it takes a long time, but it doesn't have to. It just depends on how severely triggered you are, what the situation is. But it can be split second. But just taking that beat to think and to breathe and gather yourself before you allow any words to come out of your mouth. You'll thank yourself later because you will remain in control. You will be the one that's deciding how you respond and what's an appropriate response for you. And that way, other people are not driving your life, and your emotions are not driving your life. And that's where so many of us live. Our emotions are just right there on the surface, and our emotions are powerful, and they're there for a reason. They're a part of our alerting system. So sometimes you have to ask yourself, why is my alert system going off? Why are the warning bells going off? Because that's what our emotions are. So instead of thinking about the fact that they're there, what are they trying to tell me? Or what are they showing me that is a place where I still have some work to do? Or maybe I am being disrespected or mistreated in some way, and they're telling me that this is not a safe place to be. Maybe they're telling me that I need to have a conversation with somebody and we need to discuss some boundaries. But a conversation can be heard, where an argument is just want, 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 want. Nobody's listening to the other person. So giving yourself that moment to stop and think. And what you're thinking about is the results. What is it that you want to accomplish? What do you want to get out of this conversation that you're putting your energy into? How do you want your relationship with the person on the other end to be when it's all over? Give yourself just a moment to focus on the outcome that you'd like to have, and then you respond accordingly. So that trigger that we have is automatic, and that's emotion driven most of the time. So allow your emotions to settle for just a second, because our emotions are quicker than our brain most of the time. So give yourself a chance for those emotions to settle down and your brain to kick on, and then you make an informed response instead of an emotional reaction. So focus shows up in all aspects of our lives. J. Cool Sagittarius. That's an awesome name. I love it. J. Cool said, so true. LinkedIn user, you said you handle it all so well. I think that comment came up when I was talking about trying to manage the different screens and the scrolling and all that, and maintaining focus. So drop your name so I know um, who LinkedIn user is this morning. For some reason, some of you guys show up without your name. Some people on LinkedIn, I can always see your name, and some folks show up as LinkedIn user. And if you don't comment with your name, I don't know who you are. So whoever said you handle it all so well on LinkedIn, drop me your name so that I know who's with me this morning, or depending on where you are, maybe this afternoon or this evening. All right, so that's what I wanted to talk to you. Grace. Hi, Grace. Good morning. Thank you for joining. I see Sonia. I see you're here, and I see quite a few folks have joined from TikTok. Um, oh, that's Yvonne. Your that's you. I just realized whose handle that is on Instagram. I always see it, and I never realize who it is until after the fact when you leave a comment. But I've got you in real time. I realize that that's you. Thanks for joining, Yvonne. Let's see. Hi there. So, see how I lost focus? I got drawn into her handle, and I was really trying, and I was recalling seeing it before, and but I do like to. That's a moment of focus that or feels like a loss of focus, but I really do like to greet you guys. I like to know that you're here. Thank you so much for for your interactions and for showing up as regularly as you do. I appreciate you all so very much. We're coming to a close. I told you it wouldn't be as long as a typical one, but it's getting there. It's getting long. So I want to reel it in and give you guys as much of your Friday. Oh, it is your name backwards. She was saying my handle is my name backwards. I can see that now, and I'll never forget it. So thank you for that tip. So that's it for today, guys. Tomorrow is the holiday. Um, thank you, Terry. Terry says, "How you doing? You have a nice setup." I have been building this setup for a minute, because you know how it is when you start something new. You've got the bare minimum. It was just me and my laptop, and just what was built in. But I have added an external camera and microphone so that the quality went up. I've got lights around me, and I've got 3 devices, so I can be on all the social media platforms at once. And so I'm continuing to work on the the setup because it's the more comfortable I am, the better. So he says, sounds good. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. All right, guys. So I will be back on Monday. Mondays, we talk about mindset, and we do it. Not only do they both begin with M, but it's the beginning of the week. And we really want to hone in on our mindset, set ourselves up for success, not just for that day, but for the week. So, Mindset Monday is at 12 noon Central. I'm always on at noon on Mondays, and then Tuesday through Friday, I'm on at 7:15 a.m. So I am wishing you a wonderful, wonderful Friday, and I hope a very restful weekend. And we'll get together again on Monday. If you guys did not get the gratitude worksheet that I put out yesterday, drop me a DM or a comment to this feed wherever you're watching it from. Leave me your email and I will get it over to you all just as quickly as I can. I wasn't able to make the live yesterday, but I didn't want you guys to think I forgot about you. So I created a gratitude worksheet and posted that on LinkedIn, but the other social media, it's difficult to post files. So if you guys are interested, just let me know and I'll send it to you directly. And that is it for today, guys. Enjoy your day. Have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you back at noon Central on Monday, where we will talk about gratitude. I see you, J. Cool. So I will email that to you right now before I get the workday started. Anyone else, drop your email as well, and I'll forward the worksheet to you. Have a wonderful weekend, guys, and I will see you back on Monday. Thank you.